Hey, hi everybody. This is Karen here, your favorite virtual assistant. I am excited to be here because it's been a while since I have done a actual live by myself. Because normally it's me and Gail. It's us two every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today's topic is going to be one that I'm excited to talk about, right? Because it's one that I realize a lot of entrepreneurs that have that struggle. But before I get into the actual topic, I want to introduce myself. My name is Karen. I am a virtual assistant based out of New York City. So I work with mental health professionals and physicians, and I actually help reduce their workload by that way they can actually create a better work life balance. And the work that I do is essentially administrative duties. Okay. So let me know where you from. Type it in the chat, in the comments. Are you streaming live? If this is a replay. I just want to know where you guys and where you come, where you from. Like what city, what state, what country. Just let me know so I can get acclimated of who is on the chat. So the reason why I decided to do this particular conversation is because I realized that when I speak to potential clients, right, a lot of them don't understand what and how a virtual assistant can help them in a business. So I figure, hey, let me do a live, actually displaying, showing the 5 tasks that a virtual assistant could do for a business. But I also want to say if you are in the comments, if you're a virtual assistant yourself, or you are someone who does administrative duty support for a company, or for an entrepreneur, just type in the chat. Type the tasks that you actually do, or that you can assist with, so people can have a broad idea of what exactly a virtual assistant can do. Okay. And if you are that business owner who you see a particular task that you feel your business needs, don't be afraid to reach out to that person in the comments and see, how they're able to serve you and your business better. Okay. So now that I got the introduction out the way, let's get into the meat of this conversation. Because I did write some stuff down. Okay. Just to make sure I, put down everything that I want to discuss. But before I wanted this, first thing I just want to say is this: as a business owner, it's important for you to understand your business, right? It's important for you to know what and how a virtual assistant can help you. Like, what do you need the virtual assistant for you to do for you, right? Because I think that that's where it all begins. It all begins with you as a business owner identifying your expectations, identifying what tasks you don't want to do, right? What tasks you want this person to do for you, right? But it's also identifying as well, um, allowing the person to show up for you, right? To allow the person in training, that's part of it as well. If you want this person to stay with you for a long term, then training might be something that you might want to consider doing, right? Training might be something that you might want to do. Um, okay. Um, so okay, sorry. Before I start, I just want to make sure that I am actually live, guys. I was just about to go ramble on, and I don't even know if I'm live. Let's make sure I'm live first, right? And then we can start this conversation off. Let it kick it off. So let me make sure that I'm actually live right now, and then we get started. Okay, let's get that out the way first. Let's get that out the way first. So yes. Okay, and then we can start this. Okay, so I'm live on LinkedIn. So we get on LinkedIn and I think we're gonna that's crazy. So we go to LinkedIn, we pretty much gonna all other platforms. So I would say the first task that a virtual assistant could do for you is social media marketing or content marketing. Let's put it like that, right? And I want to identify within social media marketing what exactly a virtual assistant could do for you, right? A virtual assistant have the capabilities of scheduling posts, right? Creating the actual post, right? But engaging in the comments with potential clients because to just you don't want to just post and ghost. You want somebody to constantly, build that rapport with your potential clients. You need that's essential in business. You never want anybody to assume that you just put up a post and then when they have a question about your service or question about your product, you never run to respond to those questions. That kind of turns the person off. So this is where the virtual assistant come in to help you engage in those comments with that particular client, right? Um, Even with lead generation, the virtual assistant can help you filter out those particular clients that could be a potential business. The potential client, I'm sorry, the potential people that could be the potential client, I should say, right? So the virtual assistant can help you filter out those people that could actually be somebody that who you might want to send them out, traffic them to another area. It could be you could traffic you could traffic people to your website, if you have an ebook or a course coming up or a current course, they could traffic those people there. So these are okay as well. If you are even in lead generation, right? You could discuss, for example, like how many leads they should be doing, right? How to once you have those people filter into your funnel, right? They can also help you with identifying, like I just mentioned, where do you want these people to be trafficked? Because you don't want to just you don't want to just have a potential, someone that could be a potential client and not filter them nowhere because they're not just wasting, just wasting time and therefore nobody's going to wait on you until you're ready and they're going to go search somewhere else to get what they need. So to avoid all of that, you definitely want to stay on top of your social media. You definitely want to stay on top of somebody engaging with your client, right? Building that connection, creating those fan fanatics within your company, within your brand. So this is one way that a virtual assistant can help you, which is your social media marketing, right? Another way that a virtual assistant can help you is also with your customer service support, right? As someone that does customer service support, one way that I help with customer service support is answering questions, right? Answering and responding to questions and inquiries, right? Because as somebody who is the head person, right? The person that the first in line that the clients speak to or your potential clients speak to, right? That means that the impression matters. The impression that people get off the person on the phone matters. If the person is upset, if the person has an attitude, if the person feel, all that stuff matters. The saying that goes. One thing I remember when I was working in retail, not retail, I'm sorry, over the phone as customer service and a call center, they always would say people know when you're upset based on your voice and your tone. People know when you're smiling on the phone. And that is true. People could sense even with your tone, it speaks for you a lot of the time. So that's important. The impression that people get, right? How the person is able to make the person feel comfortable, make the person feel heard is valid. That makes somebody wants to go to you. That makes somebody want to engage. Might make a person want to buy more from you, right? Especially how they handle maybe if a order, if you depend, if you're a product based business, if the product wasn't right or the order size wasn't right, how they handle um, conflict, right, within your business, that makes all the difference. So this is where virtual assistant steps in to help you in those particular areas when it comes to customer service, right? Even with that, um, another thing was say master the support software. Whatever software that you have in your business, the VA is able and capable of understanding and learning that particular software. That could be your CRM system. That could be your texting messaging, whatever text messaging service that you provide, that you connect with, that you speak to with clients. The VA have the potential of learning those systems so they can actually do a great job for your business, right? What about collecting feedback? Every business should want to collect feedback from their clients, right? Or even potential client. It don't necessarily have to be a client. It could be a potential client because that gives you an idea of how great or how bad or what you should be doing some changes within your systems in your business. So I say this again, feedback is very important to your business, right? If a product is not right, if there's an issue with the product or a service is not right, or the client felt like they didn't get what they should have gotten, or the service wasn't to their standards, things of that nature, you need to be able. That's where the feedback come in to be able to identify those problem areas, and all you gotta do is tweak them out, right? Do a little adjustment, and then you're good. So this is where a virtual assistant is able to help you with your customer service support within your business, right? And even with another thing that I would say, uh, professionalism. I don't know if I cover that, but professionalism matters, right? How the person is able to delegate, how the person is able to the tone, the inviting atmosphere. I might have said that already, but um, that all of that matters. All of that makes a difference when it comes to dealing with customers because we all know every customer is not going to feel satisfied depending on what the situation is, and it's important to know how to handle when those conflicts arise without getting all flustered, without getting all upset. Somebody has to know how to handle it calmly, professionally, right, and just try to solve the problem, right? So I think that makes all the difference. And Gail made a very valid point here. um, when it comes to feedback. I don't know how companies manage without getting feedback from like really. Like how do you guys manage? You have feedback is essential to your business because it only helps you improve. Just like anything, just like at a job. You know when you get those reports, annual reports or the quarterly report, performance report, that's essentially what that is. It's based off your where you could do better, right? Where you could improve. It's not to for you to take it personal, it's just for you to make improvements. So I'm not going to keep beating the horse, dead horse, like they say, but customer service is important in any business. So that's where a virtual assistant can help you. And then the second, the third is integrate with other staff. Excuse me. A lot of people have the assumption that if you have already either a staff or a few staff, you cannot integrate them with your virtual assistant, and that is not true. You actually are able to integrate your virtual assistant with your current staff, and I'm going to explain to you why. For example, I am in a healthcare space, right? And in healthcare, one thing that drives you nuts is the phones, right? So if you have staff there and the phones are like just ringing, constantly ringing, how can the front desk person attend to the patients if they're constantly on those phones? I mean, I just want to know how can that work? Right? So this is where virtual assistant come in. So if you already have a certain idea of what time the phone calls are more on high volume, the virtual assistant, the virtual assistant can actually be responsible, right? They could, let's say from 12 to 2, the phones are the most heaviest in your business, in your practice. The virtual assistant can hold those two down from 12 to 2. They can be answering those phones, talking to patients, sending out prescriptions, right? Inquiring, calling labs to attach labs into lab work, right? If there's labs that need to be submitted in, attach those labs into the patient's folder. You know, these are things that a virtual assistant can do while your front desk is be responsible. They're attending to the patient, answering inquiries. Because front desk too is not an easy job when it comes to front desk, because you also help with those patients too. So that's just one way a virtual assistant can help you within the healthcare space. But let's talk about you have a hair salon or any other kind of business. If you are a business that goes to conferences, right? Maybe you're doing some kind of conference or some kind of speaker engagement, and you need your location assistant to go with you, right? Somebody to attend with you to the conference. The virtual assistant could be still sending out those emails. The virtual assistant can still be, attending to the calls that are coming in to inquire about your conference and the payments and things of that nature. It doesn't necessarily have not only that, it creates a space where the person that works with you alongside, it relieves some stress for them too, because no, working in a stressful situation or in a high volume situation, some people is not it's not for everybody, right? Some people get stressed out when things are high demand, when things are just they feel it's out of control. Well, other people thrive in that kind of environment, right? So this is why I say by having a virtual assistant, it helps relieve some of the stress from the person that works with you. Like they are so much better, they are way better at assisting you if they actually have somebody taking some of the load off. Not all the load, right? Because they're still responsible for certain tasks, but at least some of it. You could delegate how you want this to go. You could delegate what tasks you want your virtual assistant to do. You could delegate what tasks your current employee could still do for you. Right? So this is just another way that a virtual assistant can help you too within your business. Step four is help with podcasts. So if you're a podcaster, a virtual assistant can help you with the pre-production, right? That is scheduling guests, answering emails, researching topics. Because let me tell you, I do lives twice. Well, this starting now twice a week, and it's not easy. You have to research topics. You have to talk to your guests. You have to get bios and pictures, right? You have to just come up with questions, right? There's so many things that go into before you even go just the pre-production part, that a virtual assistant can help you take some of that load off from you, right? Because that way you can focus on the things that are really more important to you. You can focus on maybe promoting or maybe even making networking with other people while she's doing what she's doing or he's doing what he's doing. You could be doing other greater, better things for your business. Another thing that a virtual assistant can help you with in the podcast field is post production, right? Finding the sound bites, marketing, right, for the podcast, show notes, right, promoting the podcast, or even repurposing that particular podcast to different platforms, right? Publishing, that's another way, right? Promoting, right? Promoting the podcast, putting it out there, creating the trafficking the podcast, right? Because you want them clicks. Them clicks will get you paid. So if you want them clicks, then you need somebody that's going to help you with some of the tasks, because I'm not saying it's challenging, but it having help helps a lot. I'm just going to be honest. Having help helps a lot, right? And even will follow up with your guests. A virtual assistant can help you with all of that stuff when it comes to podcasts, right? Getting the feedback, making sure they get the link to the podcast so they can promote it on their end, right? Because the more the podcast get promoted, then the better it will, the more higher chance you're gonna get them clicks, right? So that's just a few ways that a virtual assistant can help you with your podcast. Yeah, see, Gail just mentioned it really does help to have a VA on your team. It really do. It just takes so much stress from you as a business owner. Let me tell you something. If you're a business owner in the chat, just yeah, the chat. We all know entrepreneurship is not for the meek or for the weak, I should say. Right? You have to always reinvent that wheel. You always have to come up with new strategies. You always have to come up with new ideas. You always have to find other ways to just put your name out there, because it's all about visibility. Visibility gets you paid. If you're not visible, if nobody knows about your brand, then then you're not really gonna make money. Let's be for real. It is what it is. If you're not visible, you're not gonna make money. So you always have to network. You always have to network in network, online and offline, right? You always have to just connect with people. You always have to come up with new strategies, newsletter. If you're a podcast or you do lives, and you have to come up with content. It's just so many different things that goes into entrepreneurship. That having somebody to help you is, I'm telling you, it's relieves some of the stress, and also it's hard to have a great work and life balance when you're the one doing everything a lot of the time, because that mind is always working on, oh my god, I gotta do this, oh my god, this is the next thing I gotta do, this is the next thing I gotta do, oh my god, I gotta email this guest, oh my god, I gotta email this client, oh my god, I got, it's always a constantly reminder of things you have to do. So by having somebody to helping you in your business, and I just want to iterate before I give my last point. I just want to say that you actually have the choice to decide how many hours you want this person, you know how many, you have the choice of deciding how many hours you need the person within a month, right? If you want to keep them full time, if because you're able to do that, then you do that. If you just want them 10 hours a month, 20 hours a month, right? um so you choose, how do you, you have the choice in deciding how you want this person to help you, right? So that's just, I just want to put that out there for anybody that maybe or maybe don't understand that how that works. You have a choice in deciding how many hours you want this person to help you. But within just, you also want to take, I don't want to say advantage, but you want to really effectively use the person to the highest capacity. So if you're going to use this person for XYZ amount of hours, you need to have an amount of tasks you need them to do for you, right? And I always suggest those tasks that take so much time, those tasks that makes you pull your hair out and give you a migraine, those are the tasks that you need to hand off to somebody, right? I mean, because that way it kind of takes the time from you. You could do so many other things as an entrepreneur. You could be networking, coming up with better content, maybe writing a book, maybe come write, or even an ebook, or there's so many other things that you could do while somebody else is helping you out. Oh yeah, somebody just mentioned, Caroline just mentioned, starting a new mental health business, promoting healthy coping skill, increasing mental health awareness in the church, mental health resource awareness in the community, and epistemizing mental health in the church. There you go. That's just one of the things that she have to do for her business. And this is how she's going to help those particular clients. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, entre- having help is great. Having help is really good. So the last point I would say, one big way is email management. Let me tell you something. Email could be annoying, especially when you have one too many emails that you have to follow up on, right? Depends on the business that you have, right? Depending on the business that you have, emails could drive you crazy. You could spend half of your day answering emails. I mean, when I tell you half of your day answering emails, half of your day. And it takes away from the things that you could be doing. Like, if all you're doing is answering emails, it could take away from you doing so many other things. So I just want to quickly run down within the email category what a virtual assistant can do for you. Let's say manage expectations, right? I said this is one thing I do ask my client when it comes to if they want me to do the email management. I ask them, what is the expectation for the inbox? Because there should be some expectation for the inbox, other than just collect junk. Are you right when it comes to engaging with clients, right? When it comes to what is the purpose of your emails, like what the flow of your email is. Um, a virtual assistant have the capacity of organizing your emails, right? They're sorting out, filtering out, creating folders and subfolders to help organize your email, deleting all the subscriptions. For one, I suggest if you have emails that is 6 months or older that you don't really care about, just delete those emails, because a lot of times, a lot of us have emails for years. After a certain amount of time, email do delete themselves, but it's always good to delete anything that's 6 months. Delete it. If you're not gonna use it, it's not. If you're not gonna, because I always say this. Before I say that, I say this. If it's an important email, don't leave it in your inbox. Send it to the cloud. Right. That's the first thing. If it's a very important email, do not leave it. Do not listen to me. Do not leave it in your inbox. Send it to the cloud because emails get deleted. Right. As time passes, they delete themselves. So when you try to find it, you're not going to be able to find it sometimes. But if in the cloud, you know it's going to be there and it's protected. Yeah, anybody can hack your email, but it's and read your cloud too, but it's not as easy as hacking your email. Right. So with that being said, it's always good to unsubscribe from things that you don't really need. Like if you go to read Chipotle sales or Chipotle marketing, like do you really need Chipotle marketing? You can just go to Chipotle and you can see what they got, or just order on Uber Eats. Like delete things that you don't really need, right? So even answering emails, right? That's another way the virtual assistant can keep your emails in check, right? Because let me tell you, when you have somebody managing your emails, and also you have the ability to give the person how much control they have over your email, right? You could give them administrative assistant, I mean administrative um, they could take over your email, or they could just have uh partial just access to your email, right? So this is just another form that a virtual assistant can help you within your business. I chose to do this topic, like I mentioned, because I think it's important. But most importantly, I do want to say also as business owners, it's also good to relinquish some sort of control because the only way the person can maximize, the only way the person can really, really help you, if you allow the person to help you. Okay, that's the first thing. If you holding on to everything so tight, oh, this person not gonna do it the way I do it. This person could never. I mean, nobody's gonna do that to your the way you do it, clearly. But if you take the time to train this person, if you take the time to invest in this person, trust me, with time they're gonna be able to know your business in and out. Right? With time they're gonna be able to think the way you think to a certain capacity, right? As much as possible, right? They're able to help you out as much as possible. But I think that only happens if we actually allow people to help us instead of holding on to things. But right, because it's like what the one thing that I was grew up saying: if one has clothes, how can anything goes in there? Right? Anything can nothing can go in there if your hand is closed. You got to release to get something back. There have to be a flow of things, right? So that's would be my last bit for today, right? When it comes to allowing people to help you, but also vetting the people that you're gonna hire. Don't worry so much about if they're gonna do it right or they're gonna do it wrong, right? Because if you do it wrong, you have the ability to fire their ass. I mean, fire them. Sorry. You got the ability to fire them and letting them go because it did not to your standards. But right, but if they show they're capable of helping you, right? If they willing and open to learning, then give them the opportunity to do that for you, right? That's you know. But next week is going to be a great conversation because we're going to be back next week again, Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One thing next week we're gonna have Tatiana Torres. She is a specialist in Medicare. So if you know anybody that's over the age 65 or have Medicare, because Medicare doesn't tell you have to be the age of 65 depending on your circumstances, right? Um, I'll say come in, ask your questions because Medicare, even though Medicare can be very confusing for a lot of people, especially with Part C, right? Because they have Part A, Part B, Part C. They got so many parts in Medicare. So I think this is the perfect conversation for anybody that want to know more about Medicare, right? For anybody that has elderly parents or or anybody that they know that's in Medicare in general. This is a conversation for you next week because Tatana is going to break it down, the different parts, and a few of the questions. Come with, and she will be answering your questions too. So come through for next week. Show up with your questions because I'm excited, and I'm excited to have her here. I really am. Oh, another thing too. Come Sunday. That's why I want to invite all of you to my Sunday live with my co-host Gail Weathers, right? As well. So show up to that. Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have plethora of conversations, and this Sunday is going to be about um, money management for entrepreneurs. So if this is you, show up for Sunday Live too. You know, I'm just putting a plug out there, guys. Just plugging it in. All right. So listen, y'all have a great night. I hope this conversation was helpful to all of you. And just follow me if you want to know all things virtual assistant, all things healthcare, right? Because I do speak about healthcare as well. I do speak about virtual assisting, um, a little bit of entrepreneurship as well, and a little bit about me. But if you want to know more, just follow me and come through. And if any questions, just send them to the message because I will be answering. I do answer questions and I do reply back pretty as quickly as I can. Okay, so I hope everybody have a great night and thank you for everybody watching. I appreciate you guys so much. This is my first live by myself in a while, so I'm really excited for this. I was really excited for this live and nervous too, a little bit nervous, but I'm excited. I did good, I think, right? Let me know. I think I did good. Bye, guys. Enjoy your night. Bye.